One.
Hi, this is Gene DeBonds and Jim Serena. It is it's June 19th, about 1:45 Pacific Coast time. We are officially starting phase 2 of the project. Technically, it's already started, but we ran into kind of a special occasion today. We have collected all of the habitats in the lower elevations, which are Jim Serena's house and my house, and they are in refrigeration right now. However, one of the houses I looked at, and it seemed as if there were ants on the nest itself. So although Jim and I had not specifically planned to do a harvest today, what we're going to do is harvest this particular house right here, and I have collected some of the samples of what I believe are ants in this container. So what we're going to do today is do the harvest, go through that process, and store the cocoons. Hopefully we have some good cocoons in this nest, and we'll store them, and then Jim and I will work together in terms of scheduling, doing the rest of the nest harvesting. That's it for now.
Okay, let's get to looking at this Site1a2d habitat. Go.
The first step of harvesting this nest is to take the actual wood block from the safety container, and what we will do is first cut the bands. That has kept the house in good condition for the last months, since March and April when we installed this. Let's see here, get that and this. Need a better knife or something. There we go. So those are the two bands that are off. And now what I'm going to do is just carefully push this through and lift it out of the protective container and remove the back covering. Now, before we take it inside to actually do the washing and storing, we're going to remove this band and then go inside.
Yeah, and it looks like we have one tube here with mud, and then several down here with I'm trying to get several down here that are leaf cutters, actually, right?
It appears so. Yeah. And there's also one that you really can't see, but partial one down in there. But I believe there is one right down in there.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see what we get.
I'm removing the band from the wood nest very carefully. There we go. Now the next step is to take each one of these levels. You see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 8 levels here. Okay? And then of course the corresponding nesting holes. What we're going to do is lift each one of these and see what's beneath it.
Okay.
So we'll lift the first one. Doesn't seem to be having a problem. And
there seems to be something in there.
Now, if you look closely, there are quite a few ants here. I'm not sure if that really has anything to do with what we're looking at in terms of this. We're going to have to examine that a little more closely. So what I'm going to do is just move the nest and use my tool here, my extraction tool, and very carefully, at a 45-degree angle, remove this and see if there's any cocoons. And I don't see any cocoons right now. But I'm going to clean out this a little bit, okay, and put this aside. But since there are two sides to this, as you'll see, the next laminate here, I lift it up. Again, at a 45-degree angle, I use my extraction tool. There's a little pollen holding everything in there. And clean that one out. And so on and so forth. That one just slid out. Good, but now I have to turn this one over to see if there was anything there, and there wasn't. But I'm going to put I'm going to put these laminates over here because there's ants or something, and we want to make sure that doesn't contaminate anything else. Again, here we go. As before, clean that out. Next one here. Turn it over. Nothing there. Next one, the same. Now, Jim, I don't know about you, but I'm curious on what this stuff is.
Yeah.
You know, I've never seen that before. But they slide out of the laminates very easily. We'll have to examine more closely to see if there's any cocoons in there. Turn it over. Now here, we do see some action. There were some cocoons because we see the pollen bulbs. We'll very carefully remove this because if there's any bee cocoons, we don't want to damage them. We'll keep them healthy. We'll clean that right there. And we're done with that one. Go to the next one. You'll see as we go deeper into the nest, there's a lot more activity. And it looks like there may be some cocoons in here. Or parts of cocoons. And if that's the case, I'm just cleaning this out one at a time. Very carefully. Again, a 45-degree angle so we don't damage any cocoons if there are there. See, that looks like that might be a cocoon right there. There's some cocoons. Here we go. There's some additional cocoons. Get them out. One at a time. Okay, now we're gonna clean these laminates in more thoroughly a little later. But right now, what we want to do is just find out what is in this nest. Also, what I noticed as we go down deeper into it, there are a few of those what look like ants. Turn it over. Clean that out. And then the last one, the same thing. Clean that, clean that, clean that. We have encountered a very, very unusual situation. We were expecting blue orchard bee cocoons in each of these holes, but what we found are reeds. They appear to be possibly from leaf cutters. Very, very interesting and not expected. We're extracting one bee right now from one of the nests, and that's what it looks like. Now we're going to
the bee is dead.
The bee's dead. I'm looking through the microscope. It appears that it died trying to make another cocoon. So I'm just taking this one apart because here is the pollen pack or mud, and here's the bee. So we're going to ask some colleagues of ours what kind of bee this is. More later.